Hello and welcome. My name is Tafishima Ayede. I am the host of the show. I'm a former lawyer turned business consultant. And what I do here every day is I try to solve business problems. Now, apologies before we begin. Today's episode might be a rowdy one because it's a weekend. Wifey is home, the kids are home, and they'll be running all over the place, and soon they're going to turn on the TV. So just in case you hear any noise in the background. Now, problem the problems we're going to be looking at today is a spillover, it's a carryover from what we discussed in the previous episode. Now, there's a listener of the podcast called Anu Oluwapo Oluwaseun Ogubanjo. And yes, some of you be surprised that I'm saying Anu Oluwapo and I'm saying she. And that's, if you're surprised, and you're like me, is because all the Anus that you know are guys. And I told her, all the Anu I know are guys. She's the first Anu female that I know. But anyway, this Anu Oluwapo is female. So she's a customer sales associate. She's been in her job 4 months, as at the time that we started chatting. She's in the hospitality industry, and there are a couple of issues that we had to chat about. So I've already made one podcast episode where we looked at the issues that they're facing with their poor advertising campaigns that they run on Instagram. So we've discussed how it could be a problem with the targeting criteria, whether they're using their location-based targeting correctly, the demographics, the psychographics, and whether they're using the right copy in the advertising campaign. Also looking at whether they have the right calls to action. And that's the next step that people are supposed to do when they see the advertising campaign. Then what else? We also looked at whether her and her team have an effective process for sorting through leads, for talking to leads, because somebody has to talk to them, whether you like it or not. All right? It's not a matter of whether you look. The thing is, all we can debate is which way we're going to talk to them, whether it will be phone call, whether it will be DM, whether it will be email, whether it will be WhatsApp, but somebody will have to talk to them. So guys, listen, and ladies, please, ladies and guys, let's not get lazy. All right? We run campaigns. Somebody needs to talk to them. So these are some of the things that we looked at in the prior episode. Excuse me. Now, if you'd love to connect with me just like Anu did, then you can call me, text me, send me a WhatsApp message on 080-6466-2140. If you don't like listening to long podcast episodes, then you let me know. I'll add you to the WhatsApp group. There, you're going to get PDF summaries. Each PDF is 5 pages. So you can read it in 3 to 5 minutes, and you will get all the key details. Excuse me. You get the key details, a summary of everything that was discussed, and you get the key takeaways and how you can apply that to your business. All right, so let's get on now. By the way, if this is your first time listening, and some of what I said about the Instagram ads, in case you find some of that interesting, then what you do is, after you're done listening to this episode, skip back, listen to the older ones. So, Anu mentioned that a couple more issues. One of them is this thing of what we call price resistance in sales. No, price resistance is just how I define it now. When the person you call the price and you see that the person is shocked. You see, that's what we call price resistance. The shock, the gasp, the horror, the hesitation, the flinching, the whatever. All that is price resistance. Now, Anu says that they're a luxury brand. And because they're a luxury brand, the price don't cost. And because of that, once they mention the price, drop off immediately. So let's say before you're talking to 100 people, the moment you mention price, people will just fade. You see that you started talking to 80 people. At the end of the day now, you're only talking to 5 people. That kind of thing. So that is the dynamics in play. That is price resistance there. So Anu says their luxury brand clients begin to fade once you disclose price. Now, this price resistance thing, it can be complicated, small, but we can make it easier. Let's start looking at a couple of things that could be going on. So, for those of you who listened to the last podcast episode, you're not going to be surprised. We already spoke about it a bit. The targeting is off. the drop off will be plenty if you're talking to the wrong kind of clientele. There's one of my former clients, um, Amaka. I can't remember the name of her business. Magnisi. Yeah, they do leather bags, bespoke leather bags. So all her bags are handmade. So their shop is in Abuja. Although I've been talking to her, that I think they need to expand to Lagos. So because what they're doing is good stuff, and I suspect that there'll be good money to be made in Lagos. So Amaka now, Magnisi, handmade goods. She's aiming for the luxury market, well, close to the luxury market. So one day now, I was in her store because both of us needed to talk about something, and I was chilling there, and then uh, three women walked in, and then one of them was she walked into the lady at the desk and hello, blah 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 blah. The lady didn't recognize her. Tried showing her one back. She said, "No, I already have this. I already have this." I saw this one on Instagram, and then what they did really good. That's in Magnesi's. The specific brand, I say brand. The specific bags have names. So you can have a. Sorry, let me just make up some stuff. So you can have, a bag that is named, the Simi Solar or something. So that if somebody comes from social media, they will say, "Oh, I want to buy 5 Simi Solars. Do you have any?" And then they say, "Oh, yes, we have 3 in stock." Something like that. So each one has a name. So the lady came and called specifically the name that she wanted. And the lady was like, "Oh, we don't have them right now, but we can make that available. Let me get your number, blah, blah, blah." The woman said, "Oh, is it okay to pay?" And then the lady said, "Yes, of course." And then brought out, what do you call this in POS? Now, I think she wanted to buy, I can't remember if she wanted to buy 5 or she wanted to buy 3. But either way, by the time she was punching, and the lady confirmed to her, the price was already like maybe like 1.7 or something. So in my mind, I'm thinking, what? Just like that? On a very cool, casual, you know, early day like this, people are just getting ready to go to work because Abuja is a sleepy town. 9 o'clock, people are still trying to enter office. So this was before 9. I said, just like that, somebody just spent close to 2M. Easy. And then the other 2 ladies that were with her, like, oh, they were interested, they will drop number, oh, they will come back, something. I was shocked. So when you target the right kind of clientele, that's what happens. Somebody will come inside, you will tell them your price, they'll say, "Oh, sure, no problem, give me 3." But then if you target the wrong kind of clientele, like me, for instance, if I enter that kind of shop, I say I want to buy something for my wife, they give me price, I will say, you know what? Let me think about it. I'll just make U-turn and go someplace else. In fact, I told my wife about it, and my wife laughed. My wife was like, "Nah, don't buy that bag for me. Just give me the money. Let me use it for something else." You see? So this is the reason why targeting online is really, really important. If you're selling that kind of bag, you're targeting people like me. Of course, there'll be resistance now. Of course, I will fade because I don't find that kind of thing valuable and it means nothing to me. But then you target the right kind of person. When she sees it, in fact, as they were discussing, that's even when I learned the names of other bags. Is it Birkins, Abi Backins or something? They were saying that, oh, this one is similar to something, something, something. I see the stitching. Oh, the stitching is close to my. They were calling different names of bags. I say, I say on top handbag. I didn't know that there are different kinds of, different brands. So when you target the right kind of person, the price resistance won't really be an issue. So you guys know of the time that Davido bought this car. I think it was a Bentley, one of those customized Bentleys or something, and he bought it for 900 million. Uh-huh. If you put that kind of advertising and I'm the one that sees it, you think I'll carry 900 million and drop on a car? No. But then if you find a way to get through to somebody like Davido, of course, no problem. 900M, just drop it and then carry his car. I don't know what I would do if I drop 900M on a car and then Okada now come and scratch it. I honestly don't know what I would do. I would just flip. So, this is why targeting is important. And Anu, remember, if you listen to last episode, Anu, and anybody who is facing this kind of issue, this is why the targeting is on point. You need to know who your ICP is. Who are the people that usually buy this kind of bag, buy this kind of shoe, buy this kind of car, buy this kind of whatever? Do we know them? What kind of jobs do they have? What kind of age are they normally? You need to know all these things. This one guy, one of my former clients, used to be in Benin, but he's in Abuja now. He has opened shop in Abuja, and he sells computer gadgets and stuff like that. When it was time for their own advertising, I was surprised at the age. I was like, no, aren't these boys too young? Are you sure these boys buy this thing? And then he said, Mr. George, because that's what he calls me. He said, Mr. George. It's as if you're not in this country. I say, I'm not in this country. How? He said, you don't know that these G boys are the ones that have everything. I said, which one is G boy again? That's when he came to now educate me. Because when I was in school, I know of Yahoo boys. I didn't know of G boys and all these other cliques that are coming up. So that's how he educated me. He said that these are the boys that drop money. That by the time PlayStation, blah, 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 blah comes out, that it is not people my age who come and buy. That yes, people my age who come and buy. But the people that rush these things is all these G boys. So PlayStation, whatever has come, these boys walk into the store casually. Do you have so and so? Yes. How much? 900k. Okay, no problem. Keep one. Which game do you have? Add this one. Add this one. Add this one. Add this one. Oh yeah, give me this speaker too. How much is my bill? They will just transfer at one time. Then they will go. That's how billions have moved. See, that's the reason why you need to know who's your ideal customer. You need to know them. So then you're running the advertisements. You will target them. Because left to me, I was thinking all of these things now millions. So in my mind, and I've been thinking, let's target people who are 38, 40, 45, But he knows his customers. He said, no, you misroad. There's all these small boys, G boys, cheap money. They're the ones that buy these things. So you need to know. And then targeting is key. So Anu, sit down with your team. You will need to have this discussion. Who are our best customers? Try and reduce the characteristics down to paper. And then run your ads. Which is the reason why when it comes to figuring out your ICP, your ideal customer profile, that's the reason why for most people I say look at your trading history. Bring out all your receipts. Bring out all your bank transfer. Open all your WhatsApp chat. Open all your Instagram DM. And start looking. Who are the people that paid us good money? What do they have in common? It's not just people who paid us good money. Who are the people that paid us good money? Who are the people that paid us on time? Who are those people who are a pleasure to work with? Okay, these are them now, Abby. Now, what are their similarities? Oh, all of them happen to be women. It's true. They happen to be women. Oh, they all happen to be between the ages of 42 to 47. Oh, okay, no problem. Most of them happen to work in the banking sector. Oh, okay. Oh, most of them seem to have 3 to 4 children. You don't mean it. Oh, most of them seem to be master's educated. Oh, okay. Oh, interesting. Most of them happen to live around Newi, Anambra side. Oh, okay. Once you do that exercise, when it comes to targeting on social media, of course you will key in women with 3 to 4 children who are bank executives who live around Newi and, all the commonalities. That's the one you will key first. Because your trading history has shown that these people are your ICP, your ideal target audience. So I know you will need to sit down. You need to do some work. The work will be hard, small. You won't finish it in one day. But you gain a lot of intel when you do this work. A lot. Some things you didn't know before, the thing will now become clear. Like, oh, really? So these are the people that are even paying us money, stuff. So it means we've been chasing the wrong people. Do the work, Anu. Just do the work. Convince your team. Get them to sit down. Maybe you can bribe them. We can bribe them. Okay, after work, let's sit down. Let's do this thing. I'll buy pizza for all of you. Okay, no, pizza is expensive. Let's see. Buy bread. Excuse me. Okay, we'll buy bread and suya. Or suya and Fanta. Or something. Indomie and suya. Just bribe them. Let's take today, tomorrow, next tomorrow. Let's go through this exercise. It will help you. It will help you. Okay, so that's targeting. Then I have one assumption when I saw what Anu said about price resistance, and this was my assumption, right? I was assuming luxury. You say you are selling luxury. I was now thinking in my mind, do people buy luxury on Instagram? That's what I was thinking. Because my own thinking, my own thought is that Instagram is for impulse purchases. You see it, nice. Let me click, let me buy. Let me book back, let me save. Impulse purchases, nothing expensive. So that was what I was thinking. So I say, let me go and do some research. Let me go and confirm if my assumption is the case. Because my suspicion, Anu, is that if you're selling luxury and you're using Instagram advertisements, my own honest suspicion was that you're using the wrong channel. You're using the wrong channel. Like that 900 million naira car that Davido bought, I doubt he bought that thing from Instagram. I mean, he might have seen, the thing on Instagram and maybe from there started making inquiry. But I don't think he slid into DM to now go and pay 900 million. So that was my assumption. But anyway, I will tell you the results of my research later. Maybe I'll do it in the next episode because we're already at 16 minutes. So, So, before I get to the results of my research on whether you can sell luxury on Instagram, there's another thing that came to my mind, and that is when it comes to traditional sales, one way that we reduce price resistance. Remember, price resistance is just the shock, the gasp, the hesitation, when people hear your price, that deep breath that some people take. You say, how much? 50 million. So all of that kind of reaction, that's price resistance. So one way that we deal with that traditionally in sales is we try and pre-qualify in our advertising copy. Pre-qualify just means you try and give some signal, clear signal in the beginning, so that people who are not your mate, they will go away. You understand me? You give some kind signals in the advertising copy so that people who are not your mate, people who are not your target, people who are not interested in you, let them see and let them make you turn. Let them not even click. Now, one way that people do it is they use language of starting from. So in your advertising copy, if you put options starting from 3.5 million, the scope is anybody who is scrolling who does not have 3.5 million will say, starting from 3.5 million. So that means the cheapest thing they sell is 3.5 million. I beg. They will just walk past. They will scroll and leave you alone. They won't click on your advert. And then they will now start telling you that, I know, 3.5. I bet you people won't take, 2.3. You won't have any of those conversations because what you put there was options starting from 3.5. So that even if somebody clicks and the person is trying to beg, maybe the person will say, I beg, collect 3M. Now only 3M where I get. That's a different kind of conversation. But in your advertising copy, you pre-qualify. So that's one way that people have done it. Options starting from 3.5 million. Anybody that's not holding 3 million will not disturb you. In theory, there are some people who will still click, but don't worry. But it will cause that whole thing to reduce. So that way, when you now say somebody that, okay, based on everything we've discussed, your bill is now 4.5, they won't flinch. Maybe I bet some people say, 4.5. Is that negotiable? You see, somebody who responds like that, it's a different kind of conversation. Then, so that's options starting from. Some people now say options available for as little as 20 million. In theory, anybody who sees that thing and does not have 18, 19, 25, that person in theory should not click because it says options available for as little as. So they'll say, so 20 million is little. I beg. I'm not a thief. They will just scroll and they will leave you alone. When you start using language like that, in theory, people who don't have money will not click. Now, of course, there were some people who still click because, they're curious or they want to try their luck. But it reduces the number of people who have unrealistic price expectations regarding your product or regarding your service. Now, some people, these are people who say options starting from or options available for as little as. There are some people who now use the other whatever, not more than. So they say, oh, not more than 50 million. So that kind of thing, in theory, somebody will say, okay, not more than 50 million. So if somebody has maybe 30, they will say, okay, you know what? Let me try my luck. Maybe. Because they say not more than 50. Then some people use ranges, between this and this. But these are things that you can do in your advertising copy so that people will self-select. So somebody will say, these ones, they're not my mate. And then they'll go away. Okay? So, in theory. So, dealing with price resistance now, as a luxury brand, Anu, these are some of the things that you can do. Make sure that your targeting is on point. Attract the right people. When you attract the right people, you have some interesting conversations. Because remember, Magnisi, my client, it was, it was 3 ladies that walked into the store. One of them dropped close to like 2M. I can't remember if it's 3 bags or it's 5 bags that she carried. But she dropped it on the spot. And she said, I'm going to come back and collect it later. The other 2 ladies, they said, oh, I'm interested. Let me drop my phone number. That whole shebang. You see? So it's not as if all 3 of them bought. Only one person dropped. But the other 2, they didn't say, what? For how much? It's not just handbag. Did I tell you I'm a politician? None of that. So, target well. Then, in your advertising copy, pre-qualify. Once you start pre-qualifying, you see that things are okay. Once you put options, starting for as little as 45 million, people that are not holding cash, good cash, don't disturb you. Right? So, it's 22 minutes. Let me stop here. So in the next, in fact, we should just make this one the final episode. So in the next and the final episode, Anu, what we're going to do is I'm going to let you know the details of the research I did on whether you can even sell luxury goods on Instagram. Because believe me, it's a legitimate question. Whenever you're trying to sell, you have to be sure that you're using the appropriate channels. You have to be sure you're using the appropriate channels. If you're using the wrong channel for the industry or for the kind of good or for the kind of customer you're trying to target, if you're using the wrong channel, that's the kind of thing that can kill sales. So we'll look at that in the next episode. Now, if you'd love to connect with me, just like Anu did, you can call me, send me a text message or a WhatsApp message on 080-6466-2140. Then if you don't like to listen to long podcast episodes, ask to be joined to the WhatsApp group. I'll send you the link. Excuse me. And then there you get the PDF summary, 5 pages max. Between 3 to 5 minutes, you read it, you get the key takeaways, and you can apply them to your business and then get going. So thank you very much for your time and attention. And Anu, stay tuned for part 3. And anybody who's enjoying the flow, make sure you come back for part 3. I'll see if I can put that up later today. So, yeah, that's it. I'll catch you all at the next episode.